and reportage of Kashmir issue. Because quite often the patriotism of the Muslim community in India that comes under question. So they will have to prove their patriotism quite often, every time. And the government's policy, according to these two newspapers, in fact, India is a soft state, India is a soft target, and any soft policy towards Pakistan, any dialogue, any negotiation with Pakistan is considered to be appeasement of Muslims in India. So Muslims in India are somehow believed to have connection with Pakistan, and that kind of an attitude, that kind of a stereotype, that is perpetuated by these two newspapers. At the same time, it is almost the same phenomenon in Pakistani media as well. There is a slight difference in this Sindhi newspaper, that is Daily Ibrat, but the other newspaper, Nawa-i-Waqt. So there is a Urdu newspaper. Almost both the newspapers, they are also known for their quite intemperate reportage and writing. So for them who are fighting in Kashmir, so they are freedom fighters, but of course they are also not for self-determination of Kashmir, but they want, or they think that Kashmir is the integral part of Pakistan, or it has to become integral part of Pakistan, and certainly it is not part of India. And those who get killed in the process, in their fight, in their struggle, they are considered to be martyrs. They are considered to be martyrs. So they are being attacked by Hindu gundas. So it is the same language. It is the same language which is used in Indian media here, in section of the Indian media here. The same language is being used even in Pakistani media, in section of Pakistani media. So when I say this, let me also say, when we talk about media, media is not a monolith. It is not a monochromatic light. There are different views, there are different kinds of media. Of course, there are newspapers, there are television channels, now of course internet in a big way. So even within newspapers, even within television channels, we find different views. So when we say media perception is not one view, it's not a monolithic view. There are different media perceptions, and there is no one single media perception. So this study primarily focuses on two Hindi newspapers and one Sindhi and one Urdu newspapers. Another case which focuses on how the Mumbai terror attack, so that was covered in different English language newspapers. So it also points out that some of these newspapers also have a tendency to sensationalize and fictionalize the entire event or issues of this kind. So according to this study, it is also interesting that even media benefits from terror, and terror also benefits from media. So it is mutually beneficial situation, because whenever such incident happens, So the TRP rating of the media can also go up with the way they cover the incident. So they also start competing among themselves how to increase their TRP ratings. So this is again a study primarily of English newspapers. So it also cites some of the headlines used, and of course concludes that again section of media was rather moderate, temperate, balanced, but section of the media tried to sensationalize, try to create some kind of a fear psychosis among the people. So the Hindu headline, rash of terror attacks in Mumbai. So that was the Hindu headline. So for Times of India, it's war on Mumbai. So the term war cropped up. So New Indian Express, war zone Mumbai. So the word war, so that cropped up. Deccan Chronicle, terrorist rip Mumbai apart. So that was the headline. But the way they covered the entire incident, it's a detailed analytical article, and it says section of the media tried to fictionalize and also sensationalize the entire incident. So finally this article concludes, as I said earlier, both the media and terrorists benefit from terrorist incidents. Terrorists get free publicity for themselves and their cause. The media, meanwhile, make money as reports of terror attacks increase newspaper sales. Some attempts have been made by international, national and local media organizations to come up with sensible guidelines for covering terrorist incidents, etc. That's how this article continues. But it is also interesting to see, as yet another case, how media covered after September 11, the attack on Twin Towers in United States, and the subsequent attack on Afghanistan by the United States. It's quite interesting because at that time it was the BJP government and Atal Bihari Vajpayee was the Prime Minister. So what happened at that time, that was also reflected in media. So this is another case study which says, immediately after the incident, similar to the right-wing Israeli government, the Indian BJP administration moved quickly in its attempt to equate terrorism in America with Islamic terrorism in India, particularly in reference to the volatile issue of Kashmir. The BJP has long promoted an ideological campaign to reimagine a Hindu nation that neatly fits Samuel Huntington's framework of civilizational religions bounded by borders. But one fact so at that time there was also a move, or there was also a threat to Indian communities in United States, because United States was quite suspicious about all the Asians, and at the same time Indian government also made an appeal to the United States for the safety of Indian communities there. But the distinction that was made by the Indian government, the distinction between Hindus, Sikhs and Muslims, so that also spoke of the stereotypes that is being perpetuated, the stereotype that is being perpetuated by Indian government, which is also being articulated by Indian media. So what happened? There were several examples of Indian government's attempt at distancing itself from Indian Muslims. One example was an email that was sent by the Indian embassy to Indian residents of the United States encouraging women to wear bindis so that Americans would know to distinguish Hindus from Muslims. Another example can be found in Sikh Media Watch and Task Force response to Prime Minister Vajpayee's request to President Bush to intervene on behalf of Indian Sikhs facing backlash in the United States. In an email press release distributed in mid-September, the group writes, very interesting, while the Sikh community in US appreciates Prime Minister Vajpayee's help, we are alarmed at the Prime Minister's startling omission of any mention of the potential risk to Muslims in the United States. There are more than 100 million Muslims in India, nearly 7 times the 14 million Sikhs in India. But it is puzzling, therefore, that the Prime Minister should express his concern for the safety of Sikhs to President Bush and make no mention of the Muslim community. So, my final thesis. So the root of the problem